Mr. Speaker, he lied repeatedly to my team when asked about his relationship with Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein didn't hide. He didn't use aliases. He didn't use the dark net. And yet, no one stopped him. Until 2019. Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein didn't hide. He didn't use fake names. He didn't use the dark web. He didn't live in the shadows. And yet, for decades, no one stopped him. This story is not about secrecy. It's about protection. Epstein was never the powerful man people imagined. He wasn't a billionaire by trade. He didn't build companies. He didn't invent anything. What he had was access. Access to money. Access to politicians. Access to celebrities. Access to institutions that rarely say no to their own. From the outside, Epstein looked like a mysterious financier. Private jets, luxury properties, exclusive connections, but no clear source of wealth. That alone should have raised questions. It didn't, because Epstein wasn't valuable for what he owned. He was valuable for who he connected. He moved between worlds that normally never touch: finance and politics, power and discretion, influence and silence. In these environments, visibility is not protection, familiarity is. By the early 2000s, allegations had already surfaced. Not rumors, reports, underage girls, recruitment, payments. This was not hidden information. In 2005, local police in Florida began investigating Epstein. The evidence was serious: witnesses, statements, patterns. This should have ended everything. It didn't. Instead, something unusual happened. The case slowed down. Then it softened. Then it changed direction. In 2008, Epstein received a deal that made no sense: a non-prosecution agreement, one charge, minimal jail time, work release, and most importantly, protection from further prosecution. This deal was not secret, but its implications were. Epstein was effectively insulated, not just from punishment, but from scrutiny. For most people, an accusation like this ends careers. For Epstein, life continued. Flights continued. Parties continued. Connections remained intact. This wasn't because no one knew. It was because too many people did. Power doesn't always silence through force. Sometimes it silences through inconvenience. Investigating Epstein meant touching powerful networks. It meant discomfort, risk, unwanted attention. So the system did what systems often do. It minimized the problem. Epstein became something dangerous, not because he was invisible, but because he was normalized. Over time, his presence became routine. People stopped asking questions, and when questions stop, abuse becomes invisible. This is the most important part of the story. Epstein didn't exploit anonymity. He exploited indifference. Years passed. Warnings were ignored. Victims were dismissed. Institutions moved on, until they couldn't anymore. In 2019, federal prosecutors reopened the case. New charges, new attention, new pressure. Epstein was arrested. This time, there was no deal, no quiet exit, no soft landing. And then, before the case could reach trial, Epstein was dead. Officially, a suicide. Under circumstances that raised serious questions: broken cameras, unresponsive guards, a facility meant to prevent exactly this. But this episode is not about his death. It's about what came before it. Because even without conspiracy, the failure is clear. Epstein operated openly, and the system allowed it. This wasn't a failure of law. It was a failure of accountability. Too many checkpoints failed. Too many people deferred responsibility. Too many institutions assumed someone else would act. Epstein didn't need the dark web. He didn't need encryption. He didn't need anonymity. He had something far more powerful. Permission. Permission to exist. Permission to continue. Permission to be ignored. The most disturbing part of this story is not what Epstein did. It's how long he was allowed to do it. This wasn't one bad actor slipping through the cracks. It was a system choosing comfort over confrontation. When people ask how someone like Epstein could operate for so long, the answer is simple. He wasn't hiding. He was protected. And protection doesn't always look like force. Sometimes it looks like silence. In the next episode, we'll look at the place that became the symbol of this failure. Not because it was secret, but because nothing about it was. Because the island didn't hide anything. And yet, nothing stopped it. This wasn't a dark web story. It was worse. It was real life,